we've got Facebook with a wonderful presentation for you. It's accelerating digital transformation. 3 things auto marketers can learn from digital native companies to win sales in the new age of auto. And I hope that's still the presentation, Kim. We have Kim Stonehouse, who's the head of automotive over at Facebook, here to say hi to all of you today. Kim, are you there?
I am. Can you see me okay?
I can see you. I can hear you. You look great. You look like you're in a nice, calm area.
Yes, coming to you live from Michigan, and thank you all for having me.
Well, take it away.
All right. Thinking about the last few months, you don't need me to tell you about the transformation in your industry. You've certainly lived it, with over a dozen brands launching entirely new platforms to sell cars online. What I would like to do is share a framework for thinking about customer engagement that matches that transformation. But before I do, these last months have been pivotal in an even more important way in society at large, and certainly at Facebook. So I'd like to address the conversation around civil rights and platform safety. At Facebook, we stand firmly against hate, and we've invested billions of dollars to keep our community safe, to where AI helps us remove 94% of hate speech before the community flags it to us. And if that number sounds new, that's because it's up from 89% last quarter and was just announced today. In addition to that ongoing work, in the last month, we have really been listening, and we've launched or committed a number of additional steps, including the 4 that you see here, which I've heard these have been the ones of greatest interest among you, our auto industry partners. And I want to say thank you for every single conversation and all of your partnership on this important topic. You will see us remain hard at work, and you will hear more from us here on an ongoing basis, because we know that especially the remainder of this year is critical for us and for our partners to get right on multiple levels, from a brand standpoint and also in adapting to reach customers in this very different and more digital environment. Thinking about adapting, we saw it almost immediately from dealers back in March. Take Generation Kia, as you see here. When their sales department closed to comply with stay-at-home orders, they quickly shifted their messaging on Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger to offer local healthcare workers complimentary services like free oil changes and deep cleanings for their vehicles. And then
let me interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're not seeing a presentation here. I didn't know if you had slides that you wanted to share.
Oh, thank you. I do have slides I want to share.
I mean, you've been doing great. I've been paying total attention to you, but if you have this, yeah, just share your screen here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that.
No problem. No, it's great.
Thank you for.
There you go. And then just get presentation mode there and you're all set.
Great. All right. Thank you. So here we have Generation Kia of Long Island. And as I mentioned, they shifted their messaging for COVID in order to adapt. And if we've learned anything over the last several months, it's that quickly responding to change and meeting customers where they are has truly become a lasting expectation. One of the most defining changes, of course, is the shift to digital shopping and sales. It has long been a consumer ask, and COVID has only accelerated that demand. And 61% today, so twice as many car buyers, are open to buying online as they were before the pandemic. And now there will always be a spectrum of people who want to purchase and engage in person versus online, but there's no question that the ball has moved here, with shopping behavior in our category and others drastically shifting towards digital. And as more of that auto shopping process shifts online, the idea here is that you can take inspiration from the digital natives who've been at it for years. These are, what we'll go through here, are their top 3 strategies adapted for automotive. So first, mobilizing your brand. And I'm going to stop sharing here because I think I've had another error with the Zoom. Let me just try that one more time. Okay, great.
There you go. That's where we want it. Yep.
Yes. So you know that brand is important, not just top of mind awareness, but getting into that consideration set. But as more brand moment opportunities shift online, and especially with 70% indicating spending more time on their phones now than ever, your brand's presence needs to be developed with these platforms at the center. So let's see how a digital native company does it. This is Allbirds. Allbirds has been doing this since their inception 6 years ago. It's a sustainable sneaker brand born online and direct to consumer. In April, they wanted to break into the performance running category. I'm a runner myself, and I can tell you that this is a highly competitive category, something you really have to tell a story around to get people to even consider shifting their loyalty. They utilized mobile-first videos and experimented with different footage, layouts, and headlines. And through that, their ads really resonated with hardcore runners and eco-lovers to the point that Allbirds was able to sell out of the Dasher, the name of this new model, within days and establish themselves in the performance running category. And actually last month, Adidas took note and announced a collaboration with them. But how do we think about this in an automotive context? The reality is still that auto marketers on the whole, this is a generalization, but on the whole still tend to think of mobile second. First, it's the TV spot and those traditional assets. What the few auto brands who are building for mobile know already is that in addition to getting your message across more successfully, there's something to be said for designing for the space. The same way you take such care to design the space in your vehicle, that alone sends a message about your brand. Now I get it, there's a unique challenge in our industry, and actually one of your creative directors said it best. We're selling cars, not skyscrapers. So I am pleased to announce that we just launched a Play with Cars playbook to turn that challenge on its head. I'm talking pack shots, detail loops, zoom and pan, and many other production techniques that are way over my head. This is a vertical frame toolkit specifically designed for your product. And this is one of the ways that we're really thinking about how we adapt what works for digital natives for the needs of auto marketers. And we know this really matters. More than half of a brand's sales lift from digital advertising can be attributed to high quality creative. So you get the return back many times over. And that's why the most successful digital brands prioritize mobile built creative. The second learning to adapt from digital natives is a trend called discovery commerce. So what is that? Well, how many times have you been in your Facebook or Instagram feed and discovered a product that feels like it was made for you? That product found you through discovery commerce. In essence, it's about commerce moving from show me everything to show me that one curated thing that will delight me. And we have over 3 billion people on our platforms, yet no two feeds are alike. That really speaks to how fully curated and personalized the content is based on your interests and what's relevant to you. And most importantly, it's that same engine that curates the right ads for people. My feed a few years ago and my ads a few years ago, very different from the ads I get now with 2 kids in elementary school, heck, different last month and this month. And it's different when I'm in market for a vehicle versus when I'm not. All of this happens through machine learning. It's the idea that an algorithm analyzes thousands of data inputs in real time to curate that right combination of things for each individual. This is our superpower, and it's the tool that 9 million advertisers on our platform use and take advantage of every day. Our digital native example here hits close to home. It's Carvana, an online car retailer. As you know, they focus on a simple, less stressful car shopping experience. And they enable that convenience to start from the first moment someone experiences their brand on Facebook, because they're using machine learning to help used car shoppers discover the option of buying from home that they may not have otherwise known was available to them. So how do we apply this to your brands? The most important thing to keep in mind is that this represents a paradigm shift, not in what you're doing, but in how you do it. So the same traditional principle of reaching a highly targeted car buying audience holds true. It's just that the segmentation happens through machine learning, not manually. And the reason this matters is because, as you know, the majority, 70% of car shoppers have just 1 to 2 brands in mind. So if you think about a new launch, repositioning, or new technology, or anything new since your average shopper last purchased a vehicle 6 years ago, you can't rely on them to know to seek you out. And that's why discovery commerce is one of the most important digital tools for auto marketers. And as a result, you're able to reach more shoppers, but also do it a lot more efficiently, spend less money. And then with the time that you save, you can focus on reducing friction from that discovery moment that you've created through to purchase. And that brings us to our third tip, which is to bring the test drive home. So did you know that the standard now in the e-commerce space is 5 taps to checkout? From seeing a product to being ready to make a purchase in 5 taps or fewer, and then just 5 taps all the way through to the end of the transaction. It's incredible. And the question on my mind is, what's the 5 taps equivalent in the auto space? Where, yes, certainly the number of features is greater, the purchase is highly considered. I'll introduce 3 tools gaining traction among auto marketers that ease this process of evaluation and purchase: Messenger, augmented reality, and Live. Messenger is a conversation tool that helps your customers get answers more quickly to close the gap between interest and purchase. And it's especially helpful for more complex purchases like automotive. And as you can see on the left here, people both prefer the format to other communication channels and have gotten even more comfortable with it in the last months. So as an example, to sell the Captur Tokyo edition and reposition the brand in a highly competitive space, Renault Italy paired an animated Instagram stories campaign with Messenger in order to re-engage people who showed interest in the stories to help them learn more about the vehicle. And through this process of answering questions about features, design, and functionality in real time, Renault was able to close that gap between interest and purchase. They lifted awareness 12 points, and they sold all 100 available of this limited edition vehicle within the Messenger space that month. I would say on an ongoing basis, the most important thing for an auto marketer to adapt to Messenger is to really think about combining the consultative and personal benefit of your dealer body with the tech that enables those interactions to be simple and more convenient. So for example, ensure your dealers are linking Messenger to their DMS system and really build it into the infrastructure so you have both the benefits of personal interaction and scale. Okay, AR and Live. So augmented reality has been used to help shoppers try on sunglasses and makeup, check out furniture and see how it looks in their living room and more. And we've seen 6 or so auto brands experimenting with AR to help shoppers envision the vehicle in their garage or imagine, get a feel for just how large that screen is in the interior. And then with Live, it's been enabling dealers to do walkarounds, not having to do it on site. And we're seeing brands rack up millions and millions of views and thousands of pre-orders with reveals through Live. From what we're seeing, the reaction and the convenience, we expect this to be the norm long term. So to close, I'd like to offer a grid that gives you a sense for the progression from what characterizes traditional marketers to those who have adopted a digital native stance. And I hope this gives some quick cues and a gut check as to what is the language of your conversations and where are you today across these three strategies. Because this digital native moniker does not need to be the territory of DTC companies or startups alone. In fact, with what we've seen over the last couple of months in this industry's acceleration in digital operations, in many cases led by your marketing departments, to me, this is more than possible. In fact, it's the next natural step for our industry. And we want to help. So please reach out to myself or your Facebook team so we can prioritize an area and build out a plan. And we'd also invite you to join the Auto Marketing Collective Facebook group, where your peers and dealers are talking about how they're using Facebook, exchanging ideas with each other, and we're sharing research and tips as well. So you can scan this QR code or search for the group within Facebook. And with that, thank you to all of you for your partnership and Media Post. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right, Kim, thank you so much. That was great. And we don't really have time for questions from the audience, but would you be willing to put your email address out there on the chat so that folks can ask you questions if need be?
Absolutely. It's Stonehouse@FB, and I will figure out how to do that in the chat right now.
Well, yeah, if not, I can put it up there for you too. So thank you very much. That was wonderful. And yeah, really great stuff. I know a lot of people here appreciate all the insights. So thank you for your continued support and for just being a part of this today.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Stay safe.